we both have husbands that dragged us into this. I always say I swiped right and now we're here, which is just a little nod to our Tinder time. I've told the story of mine and Jason's first date so many times. I'm guessing you have done the same, but I would love to hear sort of how that went.
Our first date?
Yes.
Do you mean just the date or how we met?
Well, met would be lovely.
Okay, so because we both have a lot of really great friends, our friends who were in couples invited all their single friends bowling. So we had couples versus singles bowling. And Bert and I were on the singles team. Now, I had met Bert twice before this night. I have no memory of it at all. But I guess from his perspective, the first time he met me, he was like, who is this goddess? And I was like, I don't have time for you. I don't have time for you. And then the second time he interrupted a writing session and I was like, get out. You're interrupting me. And I was really rude. Apparently, I was very stern. I have no memory of these two incidents at all. But the third, when we were bowling, we had so much fun bowling that by the end of the night, I knew his roommate very well. And I went to his roommate and said, hey, give him my number. Now, remember, I'm 32 at this point. So I've been to the rodeo. You know, I'm not waiting on some guy to come up to me. That's happened. You know, Prince Charming's not showing up on a horse. I'm taking care of myself here. I like you. We had a great time. Give him my number. 4 or 5 days go by and I haven't heard from Bert. And I'm like, we had so much fun. You know what? I think he's scared of me because I don't know. Can be a strong personality. So I called his roommate because I didn't have Bert's phone number. And I said, hey, did you give him my number? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, well, he hasn't called me. Why hasn't he called me? And his roommate goes, ask him yourself, and handed Bert the phone. And so I go, hey, we had a great time. Like, why didn't you call me? And he just started going, And I went, listen, I'm going to make it easy for you. If you ask me out, I will say yes. And so he goes, okay, do you want to go out on a date? And I went, yes. I was like, awesome. So apparently he hung the phone up and turned to his roommate and went, she just wants me for my body. Now, little did he know,
and you're like, kind of, maybe, yeah.
He was shaving his body at the time, which was confusing. So first date comes around and I'm living in an apartment that's a first floor apartment that faces the street. So Bert pulls up in his truck and honks the horn, honk, honk, and for me to come out. So being that I'm from rural Georgia, it's not that odd for me. But in retrospect, I would have been really mad if someone had done that to my daughter. Like, I drove myself to my wedding in a pickup truck by myself. That's who I am. But I would be really mad if someone did that to my daughter.
Sure.
So I go outside and I'm in a dress and heels. And apparently it threw Bert into a full panic attack immediately because he realized this was a real date. He thought this was going to be a booty call. And so he went into a panic. He actually was wearing shoes. And because of the panic, he could no longer tolerate his shoes. He could not eat dinner. He came totally unraveled at dinner. He spent dinner with his forefinger on his cheek and his thumb on his chin, listening to me and nodding and barely talking because he was in a full panic. But when dinner was over, he was like, well, I'm not ready for dinner to be over. Let's go somewhere else and have dessert. We did. When that was over, well, I'm not ready. Let's go for a nightcap. So we did. When that was over, oh, let's go to the grocery store and pick up a 6-pack. And I'm like, it's 2:00 in the morning. Like, we closed the bar down. It's 2:00 in the morning. Okay, 1 beer. So he comes in, we have like 1 beer. And then I'm like, okay, bye-bye. I got to go. Bye-bye. It's got to walk you out. Bye-bye. And left. And 9 a.m. the next day, I get a text. What are you doing this noche? That was his little phrase, his pickup phrase. What are you doing this noche? And I was like, I'm going for a hike. Can I come too? And can I cook you dinner? Okay. Next day, 9:00 in the morning. What are you doing this noche? I'm going to yoga. Can I come too? And can I cook you dinner? And I'm like, okay. Every day, every single day, every day that happened. And after about 2 weeks, I went, this guy is for real. Like, I think I've been dating the wrong guys. I've been dating very quiet, very reserved, very handsome eyepieces. Like, they look amazing and very smart, very together. But this guy is showing up every day with his whole heart, like out and on a platter.
There's something so special about, like, I still remember when Jason and I started not even dating. It was in that phase of like, are we dating? Aren't we? Like, we're seeing where this goes. And I still remember we would have conversations in his apartment for like 3 or 4 hours straight.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like, we would go out to dinner, we'd go back to his apartment, and we would talk for hours on end. And it would get to the point where I would look at my phone and be like, oh shit, I have to like go home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it would just, it kind of like caught me off guard, where I was just like, how can this feel so comfortable? Like, how can this feel so good and so right? And so hearing that you sort of had that moment of like 2 weeks in, you're like, I guess we're going to see where this goes. Cause like, how do you ignore it at that point? Right? Like,
yeah,
you would be silly to regardless.
Yes, I'd be silly too. And I believe in signs. And very early, probably in that first 2 weeks, definitely in that first 2 weeks, the first time he told me his phone number, I knew it. And that wasn't lost on me. I went, hold on. I don't know anybody's phone number the first time they tell it to me. And then the second thing that happened, this was in the first 2 weeks, was he left me a voicemail. And I had this thought, an involuntary thought. My brain said, I could listen to that voice every day. And I went, interesting. I've never thought that about anybody.